It's so funny because it's 5:20 on the 20th, and yesterday it was 5:19 on the 19th. And so this morning when I got up, and I got up at one time, like in the middle of the night, and was up for a long time, and I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna record now. I'm gonna go back to bed for a while. Which I had so many weird dreams. I think I did my eyebrows pretty dark today. So anyways, so when I got up again and I was doing stuff, and then I sat down, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll start to get ready to record. And then I saw the time, and it was like 5 o'clock, and I thought, well, that'd be so funny if when I sit down to start, it was 5:20. That'd be weird because it's the 20th. And so then I went and was doing stuff, doing my eyebrows. And when I was, then I came and sat down to start, and I turned my phone on, and it said 5:20. I was like, oh my God, that is so wild. So anyways, I thought that was cool. Now I'm gonna keep focusing on my eyebrows though, because this light is so much different than, even though the lights in the garage are bright, they're like, I don't know, the lighting's weird, super intense. So I don't know, when you're looking in the mirror and trying to see like your eyebrows, then it's like, it looks different than when I sit down here. So use this mirror, but I don't know. Anyways, shut up about that. Quit looking. But anyways, I was just going to town because I was like, there was some long eyebrows. I swear, it is like my eyebrows, because before the I swear to God, the copper has a lot to do with that. But I have been taking a whole bunch of different stuff, and so the copper, I think, started making, well, it made my eyebrows stop being white, but the hairs, even though they were turning white, they become so much more. Geez, Stell, just sit down or something. She's always got to just do spins right underneath the cord. And her tail just catches it. Anyways, so the hairs were like white and more sparse. And so ever since, I don't even know, because I do all these different things, is they start turning darker, but more started growing in. And so I was like, dang, there's a bunch of hairs there. So I was trying to get them all with the little hair mascara color stuff. But anyways, and someone sat down, and I'm like, dang, that's kind of dark. So, but there was some weird shit. So let me think, besides my eyebrows. And the weird dreams that I was having last night. Fuck, man. So weird. But I was, going into, like, using my mind, going into the space and putting my stuff around in the space and being like, okay, I can make this, I can make everything fit. And he can't really build anything on for me, but his idea of building on was different than mine. So yesterday I was like, okay, just be real. Like I need real talk here, because I think what I'm envisioning and what you're envisioning are not the same. And so, anyways, I was like, well, I think I can make, I can fit my stuff. I still have like photo albums, you know, like when we used to do photos. I have a lot of photo albums from back in the day, and books, a lot of art books, a lot of art, like all my paintings and stuff. And so I was like, that kind of stuff will be more like, I need storage or something, which my mom found a storage building at Costco on sale, and she's like, oh, you gotta get this, you gotta get this. But I got so much going. It's like, man, that's another $500, and if I have it shipped there, it's another $600. It's like, so anyways, but I think, I could make my stuff fit. Still don't know how many trips it's going to take. After I do my first trip, I swear I think I'll have a better idea. But anyways, the, let me think. But my dreams were weird. And, I can't even remember what they were, but things are just so weird right now. Um, and there's all these people. So there was like a whole group of people who are sure the rapture is happening on the 24th. And then I saw this one astrology lady yesterday, and she's like, I told y'all the astrology was going to be crazy for the 24th, and it's not going to go well for us. She said something's going to happen, but it's not the rapture. She said there's no such thing, and there's no going to be any rapture. I still don't. I mean, to me, there is going to be big groups of people leaving it at the same time. I don't know. I feel like that was kind of a three-dimensional way of looking at it. I mean, you may look at it different than the rapture of what you've been told the rapture is. Like, I look at it different than what they say the rapture is. But I still say there's going to be big groups of people leaving at once. And they put it in the movies and stuff with the leftovers, and there's a few other ones. So, anyways, something can happen like that. But there's a lot of more, so they could put that whole thing up in a hologram up in the sky and make it look like some crazy shit's going on. And Jesus is returning and stuff. They could do that. And there's people who are saying that they have contacts that are telling them that they're going to do something like that. And that there's going to be something that's going to go on. This girl had this dream. And she said that she was looking at this old black and white television. And so she said that all of a sudden they started all these people start going up in the air. And so she said it seemed like whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna televise it, and they're gonna try and freak people out. So I don't know if it's their last big, like, trying to energy harvest, if it's a part of to just get people to wake up and start thinking more on a spiritual level, if it's a way to introduce the truth about aliens and history and stuff, because it won't just be one thing. Nothing is just one thing. And hold on. So it could be, and it's something about the people are going to get really scared and freaked out. But it was like what I was saying yesterday about that would, if a bunch of people left like that, that would see all these people who are just doing dumbass shit nonstop and not thinking about life on a more serious level, not trying to think about redemption, higher vibration, nothing like that, then that would really bring them back to center to see, like, oh, all these people left. Why didn't I leave? What's up? So it would really kind of force the awakening more. So even if they try and do something to scare us, which it will scare a lot of people, but it would still work to the benefit of mankind, because so many people would start to question things more, work on themselves more, try and understand things in a different way and stuff. So it would be beneficial if they did do that. So even if, but there's people saying that whatever they do, don't get caught up in it. Don't get all scared or anything, because it's all going to be this big fake thing. But then also, they could come in and say, oh, there's this big fake thing that's going to happen, but something really does happen. So, I don't know. There's all these people, too, that still are like, so when something goes down outside, you're supposed to close yourself in. This is extreme, because you're supposed to close yourself in. And I don't know if they consider this the days of darkness or something. But you close yourself in, you close your animals in, close everything in. You don't go outside. You don't open the windows. You don't look outside, nothing. Because the demons are going to be everywhere outside. And they're going to get you. And so, and I saw this girl talking about, because she was answering a question like, well, what do you do if your dogs have to go to the bathroom? Well, you just get puppy pads and stuff. You don't let your dogs go out. So that is, you see, they can get people so scared of stuff. I don't know. I saw this guy, he's always talking about alien stuff. And he said, like, right now, there's a bunch of beings that they're at Fort Pendleton or something. The one, I think, in Florida, and their mothership is over at the top and is cloaked. But they're already down on the ground. And he's always talking about that kind of stuff. And he's like, they're coming from the water and different things. But anyways, so he said the other day, he said that he was having this weird sleeping thing. I don't know, he was sleeping in the chair or something. And he said he woke up at 2:22. And he said, but that's not unusual. And so then he woke up at 3:33. He said, that's not unusual. And he said, so he went in and he got on his bed. And then he woke up again. And he said this big blue-looking bird person was standing over him. And they were gentle or whatever. And they just were looking at him. And he was looking at them. And then he went back to sleep. And I said in the comments, have you not heard of the blue avian? But that's a blue avian, and they're like blue bird creatures. But see, they were real involved with humanity for a long time. Like they had an interlinking something with us. I don't know what the whole thing is, just like the Palladians do. So it goes way back. But something happened with them where they were finished with what, you know, they had completed their karmic debt or whatever. They had, you know, they were washing their hands of the situation or something and moving on. And that comes out of the, like the people who talk about the secret space programs is where I heard stuff about that and or heard about them, because that they were the kind of beings that were real kind and gentle, helpful, advanced kind of beings. And but they're moving out of our region and into a different one or something. But anyways, for them to for that to come and visit him like that, I would think that he must have some kind of genetic link or something. Like there must be some kind of DNA code that, because I'm sure some of all these different, you know, that's why you have all these people who think of themselves as light workers and stuff. They come from somewhere else, that they've been on these other planets, which they've been other kinds of beings for a long, long time, because they don't go through little short life things like here, where it's shorter. You can be there and you can be living like that for, I'm sure that there's some, just like the Anunnaki, like they say that those are the same ones. We've lived through all these different experiences, and they're still living the same as the same being that they were when they came here and started this whole thing. I don't know. We'll see a lot more soon, hopefully. Hopefully, I hope it is the 24th. I fucking hope shit goes down the 24th. But tomorrow, the 21st, is supposed to be the start of it. There's supposed to be stuff starting on the 21st. And it's just going to be going crazy up through the 24th or something. So, I don't know. I hope stuff starts going faster, because it still seems like it just drags, man. Like, I swear to God, this whole freaking ginormous thing on Charlie, it's like, it's so freaking huge. And I swear to God, the guy is not gone. He's as live as any of us. It's just this big fucking show, and it's such a fucking pageantry and ceremony and so much, and then so much chitter chatter, talk about it. This hold on, let me finish this. Yesterday, my mom had to go get an eye shot, And I don't know how well she was doing taking her black seed oil, but she had to get one eye. And she asked about something, and the doctors are so condescending and just like, you're going to have to take these forever. I was like, oh, well, how condescending. And besides the fact, so he doesn't even acknowledge new technologies, new advancements can come in medical. It's like, fuck off, man. Um, but so, anyways, I was upstairs and her show, that channel was going, the one that has all these podcasts that Charlie was on. And whenever I'm up there, see, I always hear just like, I don't know. I, well, but yesterday it was some guy, I have no idea who he is, but he's got a podcast. And he was saying, it's about Charlie and how it's just so upsetting. And he was at, I don't know, one of the ceremonial things the other day. And there was tons of people. And he got in a fight with a few different people. And so the things he got in a fight about, he said, was one thing was, and maybe he's trying to bring this to the surface in a way that, because when people are only hear things in a certain way, so I don't know, because he was very resistant to the thing. But so he said that one of them was because they said, because there's a whole thing about the guy who did the action, supposedly, that, and there's a whole thing about having to do with the real, and there's a whole bunch of conspiracy stuff around it, tons. And so somebody started talking to him about the different conspiracy stuff. And one of the things was, well, he doesn't believe that that's a lone one and that there's other ones involved that could have to do with that, the real and all that stuff. And he was like, these people, they're just so out there coming up with this stuff. And, like, they can't just believe this or believe that. And I guess apparently Jimmy was saying he's trying to link the guy as a MAGA or something. I don't know. I mean, there's just so much freaking bullshit nonsense with the whatever. This guy was, and he's out there telling stuff too. That's why I said both sides are misleading people. Like, get some goddamn conspiracy theorists on there. Get some conspiracy theorist channels going. Get those people out there who are digging into information, scraping up all this stuff and putting it out there so you can decide for yourself. But they just, this is it. This is the only way. This is it. This is the only way. And it's like, there's so much more, especially when they just bypass all the conspiracy. Just, laugh at it. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's like, no, it's not. There's all sorts of evidence for all sorts of crazy shit. And I just haven't even, I just hear people talking about it. I haven't gone in to try and see what I think about it, because I think that he's not even gone. That's what I think. I think that the whole thing was a big show. I don't think that that was the real Erica that did the weird, thanking the president and all that. Not even crying. I mean, I think if your husband was killed in this tragic, violent thing, I think that you would be kind of a mess. I can't imagine that you'd just be out there all. There's just way too many. The props, the scene, the whole thing. It was just like, no, it was ridiculous. And then there's already people who were putting that person's face up against the other Erica's face. It was like, yeah, they look alike, but don't look like the same person. So, and they have holograms, AI, CGI, all this stuff. So, it doesn't even have to be a real person. It was on TV. And so it could be anything. But yeah, I don't think he's gone. And I think there's all these other signs too. Cash saying, I'll meet you in Valhalla. It's like, well, when Charlie be in heaven? Like, isn't that his whole friggin' thing? So, anyways, I don't know. There's just so much conspiracy. Like, I think it would be kind of funny if all of a sudden all the dead people resurrected and walked across the stage together. Like, let's see that go down. Wouldn't that be funny? Like, I don't know, what would people do? Because they're so sure this happened, so sure that happened. Because I'll try and tell people, like, I don't think he's dead. And oh my God. It's like, go look into some conspiracy shit. Like, you don't just believe the simple, the easy way. Look a little deeper. It's like there's a lot of evidence that says that something more is going on. So, but people just, they want to, that's what they've kind of trapped us into, because the people in charge, the vamps or whatever, the oligarchs, whoever you want to think of them, they know we're simple creatures. Just tell us something, pat us on the head, and we'll go about our business. And then, put a time crunch on it. You get to work, you're going to lose your house. And then people just, they get down to business. They don't have time to worry about, what happened here, what happened there. But that's where they just continue to do crazy shit. Like this, I think this is weird. Like this new one that's come out. I keep seeing video after video after video talking about it, so it's not like I've dove into it or anything. I just keep seeing so many videos about it. Oh, Kim Panama, that whole thing. Today, I guess, apparently he's decided he's going to go murder this plant or creature or whatever it is. It looks like it has a million eyes, and it moves around, and there's still people who say it's a conspiracy, but it's weird. I don't even know how you could fake this stuff, so I don't know. It could be brilliant, genius, and this is how he wants to use his energy. I have no idea, but I do know that there's a study on plants, and this seems kind of like plant-like, and plants know what you're going to do before you do it. They had them hooked up on machineries. You can go look at this study. They had them hooked up to like EEGs or something so they could read the waveforms, and the plant would react to what you were going to do before you did it. And then, like, if you went up and you swatted a fly and killed a fly, the plant would start like screaming. The thing would go crazy. And so, yeah, plants are watching. They pick up, like, who knows if you're a plant, what it is you see, what it is you feel, because it's an illusion that we need all these senses. It's for our experience. And so different plant forms, animal life, different things absorb the frequency or the reality in different ways. And so who knows how it sees things, but it kind of this thing he has kind of reminds me of a plant. And so like it reminds me of like the feed me monster plant. And so I was like, man, if he thinks like he can be sitting here thinking and picturing like he's going to kill it, it already knows. It already would know. It would be making its plan. It's going to grow some tentacles real quick and grab up and strangle you. Because that's one thing, is it grows these long tentacle things. Like he put it in, it was getting so big, he put it in a deep freezer, but doesn't have the freezer on. So it's down in the bottom of this freezer, but it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it puts these offshoots, like a plant, of these tentacle things that start going up, like feeling. It reminds me of a mix of an octopus and a plant, some kind of strange creature thing. But anyways, I was like, I would bet your ass, I bet that thing knows what he's going to do before he's going to do it. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go for him. And then knowing that those plants scream is like, oh my God, is it going to scream? Is he going to live kill this plant? Is he going to, do it live where everybody can watch, tune in? I don't know. Because the whole thing's so weird. There's so much weird shit. Just like this other weird thing. So this is something I just keep seeing and seeing and seeing. So it's just rolled out, I guess. It's just come across the news. And so this guy, so he is a musician now. And this is so conspiracy. So he, so there's interviews of how he got started. So he played Fortnite all the time. And so he wanted to be a streamer. And so he started streaming him playing, but nobody was watching. So then, I don't remember, he was conversing with his mom or something, and she gave him ideas, and then he'd go do them. So he started um, doing his games with music. And then I think it got more views or something. But then, anyways, it kept leading more until he started making his own music. And then it went crazy. Then, so he started making his own music, but that's how he got discovered, was through streaming, playing, and video games. And so everybody started sharing his music things. And so then he got, and I don't remember how fast this all was happening. It happened pretty fast, but I don't remember exactly, like if it was in the first month or something. But then, because maybe it was like he put out 2 songs or something. I can't remember exactly the whole thing. But but right away they had music people wanting to work with him. And so he made these little like videos or something with this music that he would write. So anyways, he got popular, and then he went on tour with somebody as an opener or something. And then he came back and he went on TikTok and he started doing his songs on there or other songs through Chipmunk Voices, and he got popular on there. And then he wrote more songs and he was getting more popular, put out his first album and he was getting more popular. And so then he was going on his own tour. And then apparently there's some other guy who maybe is his opener now, because this is just getting weirder and weirder. So anyways, he had the Fortnite guy, he had a Tesla, and I don't know, he left it abandoned somewhere and it got towed. So it got towed down to the junkyard. It's at the junkyard for a couple days, and the junkyard people are like, call the police and say this car smells really bad. You need to come down here. So they come down, they open the trunk, and they find a dismembered girl in there. And so, was it there for like 2 days, but it was on the street for like 30 days or something, 25 days or something. And this girl has been missing for a couple years. And so then, I guess it was yesterday or the day before, this other guy now at the junkyard, they've got another car, a Honda, that they've opened up that trunk and found another girl. And so, but the one girl has been found to be this guy's girlfriend. And not only that, he's written some real creepy songs that you start lining shit up, and it's like, this is creepy. And putting them out on her birth date and stuff, like, it's very creepy. And when you hear the one song, it's like, so when he started up with her, she was 13, and she was a runaway or something. So she was a missing person. She was 13, and he started up with her. So he was like 17 or something, because he's 20 now, and she would be 15. And so, something like that. So, but in this time, while she was missing, but not really missing, because she's got an Instagram, she's on his thing, but she is, her little label thing is, I can't remember, something weird, someone who's not there or something. Anyways, she has a weird handle for her Instagram. And then they were all also on like other platforms and talking. And so there would be girls who would be like, oh, I want him and stuff. And this girl would say, oh, too bad he's taken. And one of the things is she showed her hand, and she had an engagement ring, and she has a tattoo of his name on her finger. And so then they found that on his thing, but now they found that link to her Instagram. So they're putting all these things together over who this girl is and stuff like that. And then there's in some of these chats and stuff where he said that she was gonna have a baby, And so, and there's no baby around. And so, but they think, I heard that she has been in the back of his car for like a year. So I have no idea. This is just all started going. And so, because they just found the other girl in the other guy's car. And where now people are saying, is this some kind of a music ritual where they have to do in somebody that they love in order to become rich and famous? Because there's conspiracy around that, where people have said that for a long time, that you have to lose somebody close to you in order to take the next step in your fame, destiny, journey, whatever it is. And then, so she, so anyways, they're putting all these pieces together, but so it still is like he was going after, he was with a minor, so they're saying no matter what, he's going to be in trouble for the lot of different things. Like, and this is another weird thing that somebody shared. So this was like a month ago. This was before any of this happened. This card reader, and she just, I don't know, people ask her to do random people or something, but so she did a card reading on this cat, and so she says that somebody he got in a big fight with, but now that person is no longer around, that he's going, like, things are going really good for him right now, but all of a sudden it's going to switch and it's going to go real bad for him and stuff. Like, her thing is it's kind of eerie, but I can't remember the whole thing, but it was really eerie because it was like really on point over what's happening now a month later in this guy's life. And so so anyways, I don't know, it just all has getting started, so I don't know what's to come out of it, but it is eerie. Like, in the back of his car's dismembered girl and his girlfriend, and then in the other car too, and they're both out like working together on music, like on a tour or something. So it was really strange, but also, yeah, this going after this young girl. And I don't know, because I saw one thing where it said, like, when he started up with her, she was like 11. So I don't know. He started with her when she was 11. She ran away from home. She's been a missing person, but she's been with him. I have no idea. Like I said, there's more that's just this is just getting started. But there's people who like followed him or liked him or bought his music or something, and so they're all talking about it, and he seems like he was kind of popular. I don't know, but somebody was playing that, and people were saying, stop playing his music, he makes money every time you play it. But this one song, oh, it was really creepy when you think about, like, oh, you really did kill somebody. But I mean, they could come back and say, no, somebody killed her while she was on tour and put him in his car, and I don't know. We'll see where this investigation leads. But it is very creepy. There's another person who, this videos that started popping up, and he's in China, and I think it's the Xinjiang or something like that. This really really high tech city, and which is like it's so crazy, but anyways, he's doing the same thing as that other guy was doing. Was out like showing things, walking around showing it, something in my eye, showing this place. And there's not cops around anywhere. There's tons of people at night. Tons of people come out, and especially said this certain night because like how we have fireworks show, but they have hologram shows or something, drone shows. So, but it looks like it looks like the sphere or something. So everywhere, like has these parks and where little motorized cars and people are out with their kids doing all sorts of stuff, and there's tons and tons of people everywhere. Everything is lit up at night. All these lights come on all the buildings and stuff, so it looks really cool. And then up in the sky they have this whole show that looks like these things in the sky. I think I've seen some of the stuff from these shows before in videos where people try and share them and show it as being something else, but I think it's a show over here in this city. So I think it does have, like, you know, whales going through the sky, and, you know, two things, got like two dragons meeting, and, you know, different things. So I don't know, but it's like super high tech, elaborate. It's supposed to be one of the most high tech cities or something. So anyways, but he said, like, there's people everywhere and there's just no cops. Everybody's just friendly and nice. He said you don't ever feel threatened here. It never feels like you're in danger at all. So can you imagine? Because America is so dangerous. It's like, but I think that they create it in order to be over us and have cops and stuff. They create crime and criminals and stuff. And I think they do it through poverty, because, see, that's the thing about, and you can't say to a lot of people about the COMMUNISM having anything positive, because they're so sure that there's nothing positive about it. But when the people put the money back into the cities, obviously, that, because that's another thing, and this was a Chinese lady that I had seen talking about, and she said there is no homeless. He said, yeah, there's no homeless people. You don't see people drugged out in the streets, none of that. And this woman was talking, and she lived there. She said there's no homeless people here. The government doesn't allow it. They give you homes, so everybody has a home. And there's homes, like, if you are poor, destitute, there's still homes. There's still, like, you live more like in apartments and stuff, and they'll give you little jobs. It's so weird too, because I used to think, like, why don't we do stuff like that? Why don't they open up buildings and then give the people little jobs, like, you know, as a part of, you live here, so you sweep the halls, you do something, you know, to give back. And so if you're down on your luck or you become disabled, whatever it is, whatever happens to you, that you aren't just stuck out in the streets. And what's even crazier here in America, because they take people, they use them in their wars and shit, and then they bring them back, and then they discard them. And I had heard a conspiracy around that too, was that they do that because they've got to turn them into being, like, they can't have all these confident soldiers out here going against them. So they've got to defeat them somehow. So, and, you know, they test on them the whole time they're in there. So they probably give them stuff, and then, I don't know, because there's all these different chemicals and stuff that they give us all the time, and then the wavelengths that they put out, but so that they make these people be more, I don't know if docile, maybe they scramble their brains some, maybe they get them hooked on certain kinds of drugs, or make it real easy for them to get hooked on drugs, make a, you know, give them something that then goes inside them and makes them more prone to addiction or something. Because everything is very, you know, it's so much more nefarious than what people think. It's so much more planned. It's so purposeful. None of this stuff that's happening is by accident. Just look at other places. Why isn't it happening everywhere? And so they, but I had heard that they do that purposely, to make because they can't have these well-equipped soldiers coming out knowing how to combat, and then to go against the ones that trained them. And so they have to do something to defeat them emotionally, physically, physiologically. Like, they have to defeat them before they can just have them out there. Because here we have all sorts of homeless vets. We have all sorts of vets that are in the streets, and they're on drugs, and it's really sad. And then plus, you know, not everybody is equipped to go out and do people in. And then they force that on the different people too. So they force them to go and be a part of these wars and stuff. And a lot of the guys who go and join up, they join up like right out of school because they don't know what they're going to do with their life. They want to get away from their parents. They want to leave, you know, they want to go start something different. They want to get training. They market it as you're going to get trained. You're going to have benefits and stuff like that. You have a steady income. So when you're a young kid and you don't know what you're going to do, it seems like, oh, well, that's a good idea. I'll go, I'll get trained. But then they make sure that they get some kind of a situation going somewhere to draw these people into, you know, increasing their cortisol and fear and making things more like turmoil or something. And they start these little disasters all over the place. And I swear to God, there's certain ones that I'm sure when they are deciding what group you're with, there is so much, there's nothing by accident. So, because there's some of these guys, you know, they'll stay in, which there was a video. This was creepy. I don't know if I'd already talked about it. It's just so weird. People are so fucking weird, man. So this woman is videotaping her kids. So she comes home and she says, guess what? I have great news. And her kids jump up and they say, oh, Donald Trump died. And like, that's their response. I was like, what goes on in y'all's house? Like, what is your conversations around the dinner table? These are little kids, man. What the hell? And so she starts laughing and she said, no, but it's almost as good or something like that. And then they start going through some other people. Oh, was it JD? And then she laughs again. No, guess again. And then they say, oh, it's Elon. And she laughs again. And then I didn't see, that's all I saw the video, because I had seen somebody stitching it like, who raises their kids this way? Like, what in the world? Talk about where people have like racist, and you know, you'll see some racist person and be like, well, it's how people are raised and stuff. Well, look at how people, like, it's so wacky. But anyways, so this video hit hit the public in a bad way, and so people started researching who these people are, and so of course they figured it out real quick. And she is a preschool teacher. Like, this is who you want influencing your kids while you're at work? Fuck, man. So she's a preschool teacher, and guess what her husband is? A colonel. A motherfucking colonel. So, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with them. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they got a shitstorm going right now. You know, that and I don't know who's gonna lose their jobs or what's gonna go down. But that is one thing that goes on all the time, where people do and say stuff online, and then they lose their jobs. Some of these people have to go into hiding because people go insane. People are being like, you know, but for him to be in the military, you'd think like that's going to be, you can find yourself down at the gate. Like, I don't know. But I don't know, because I don't even know all this stuff with Jimmy. But I get these texts, these spam texts all the time. But there's also, because they canceled Gobert. It's like, well, if you're going to cancel him, why not just knock him off the thing? Why is he still out there yakking his nonsense? He's such, God, I swear to God, that guy. Because there is video. Like, I can't imagine that he's got anything that's about a good guy, because that video, like I said the other day, is so fucking creepy. It's like this 80s scene in this weird way, but the kid is terrorized, and he's just getting up in his face, and he's creepy. It's just like, it's as creepy as, if you haven't ever seen the one with you know, the Podesta. that one of him, and it's audio, and he's got some kid in the shower, and he's like telling him, "Call me daddy" and stuff. Like, it's so fucking creepy. Yeah, I heard too that the laptop, you know, the hot dog laptop, that guy is he is that there's way worse stuff than the insurance policy. That it's just full of bad stuff. So these people are kooky. You know, I mean, they terrorize kids. Like, they've got no empathy or compassion. Like, most people, if you see a kid start crying, your heart goes out to them. You know, you want to comfort them. Oh, it's gonna be okay. Don't cry. You'll be okay. We'll find your mom. You know, it's not where we just get out. Oh, this is fun. Like, but these people, like, they enjoy it. That's where they have a good time terrorizing and stuff, and then they want the juice to what was that too? Oh yeah, because it was in the one movie, The Home, because it has about the juice in the home. So I don't know if I remember what all I told about that one, because but I know I said weapons and the home has disclosure stuff in it. Oh, I swear to God, so many movies, even this new one, The Beautiful Long Story or whatever it is, that is going to have disclosure with portals, and and I know that when it's like it comes from our own self, whether we go into a good entry point or one that is more negative, and it comes from within us. So that is also a reason to raise your vibration towards positive, so that you go towards the good stuff, because there's negative stuff out there. That's why I'm saying, like, if this rapture thing happens and all these people all of a sudden leave, if they really do leave, if it's not just a show and we really do all of a sudden have, like, you're sitting next to somebody and suddenly it's just their clothes sitting there and they're gone, then and they all go and they think that they're going to heaven, so they go to a place that appears to be like heavenly, like clouds, and I mean, they run through the clouds and they go into gardens and stuff, and they're this giant entity. Like, I don't know what their vision of God is, but this giant entity of God or something, and I don't know if whatever it is, if they also manifest to Jesus. I don't know really whose feet they're going to sing at. I think it's God. But so then, like I said, once they have been there for a while and they've been doing this for however long it takes for them to start questioning, then it can seem like a positive place, but really it wouldn't be like a positive place, because then how do you get out of it? So you have to pull yourself out of it to get out of it. So that is all the different things, even like in a dream or something, like when you're in a negative, hostile dream, a nightmare or something, you gotta pull yourself out of it. And then ask yourself, why am I being shown this? Why am I there? What am I doing there? Why is this my experience right now? But yeah, but because you have more influence over where your conscious spends time, where it goes through things, so you have more control over that. It's not like, because there's people who, like, I've heard a lot of these kind of things, like these people go and they have like these bad trips or something, and they'll go into these really creepy, oh, I used to hear this when I would hear near-death experiences, and I would hear these people and they thought they went to hell and stuff like that, and it was like, to me, it would be like, you think you went to hell because you think you deserve to go to hell. You believe hell is real, and you believe you deserve to go to hell, so you put yourself in hell. When you don't believe in it, and you don't think you deserve it, you're going to go where you're going to put yourself somewhere else. But there's people who do think that they deserve it and do. And there's some creepy stories, like, of dark entities coming up and taking them, like they come out of their body and dark entities start popping up through the sidewalks and stuff, and taking them. Like, I don't, I mean, everybody can create their own nightmare, but I don't think that that is what really goes on. I don't, I mean, it could be that, like, these girls who think that they are, witches now, but they're really pulling in this dark energy. They're pulling in these dark entities to do their dirty work for them. That those, like, so then you die, which dying isn't real. You just go from one reality to the next. But so then when you leave your body, that those dark entities start coming for you because you're buddies with them. Like, you've befriended them, you've worked with them, and so they could come and take you. Like, they come and then there would be a sense of you. I don't know. It would be like, it would be hard to pull yourself out of that, to think like, hey, wait a minute, no, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm going somewhere else. See you guys. Thanks for your help. I see you. Oh, I think there's like, I don't know. It's not something that I think you should be messing with. That's for sure. And I think that, I don't know. It's like I feel like there's some of this stuff like I know because I don't know. Because this one past life thing that I was shown that really, because there was a whole bunch of things. There was a bunch of things that made me think about this before. Because I think I've talked about it a long while ago. But there's, like, on your hand, on your palm, like palm reading and stuff. I have a lot of certain markers. And so then where it is like you know magic, but it's like turned off, like you used it for bad, and so it's like having to go through the frustration of knowing you could do this but you can't do it because you didn't use it right. You used it for self gratification. You didn't use it for, so just like what these girls are doing, like, you do me wrong, I'm going to do you, I'm going to, cause a storm in your life for the rest of your life, putting curses on people and shit. And so I think that I was one of those kind of people before, but because I think I've lived some other lives, like, where it was, because one thing I related to a lot was in the Game of Thrones, the Red Witch. I was like, oh, fuck, I know I lived a life like that, where you are a seer, and then the governing forces, like the crown, uses you, but you can do, you say something wrong, you don't see things the right way, or it didn't work out the way that they wanted it to work out, like, you are blamed. And so, but they used a lot of seers and stuff, and wizards and different people throughout time. And then, but there was this one time, and it was like, I don't know, it was way back in 2016 or 2017. And I was, I talked about it before, because I was standing in my bedroom and I was doing something, and I turned, and the mirror was in front of me. And when I turned, I wasn't standing in the mirror. This being was standing in the mirror, but I knew it was me, but it was not this me, but it was like an angel looking. It was a man, but it like had wings and stuff. And I just was like this quick sense of, like, like knowing that that was me. And so it really messed my head. And I was like, so I was asking them, who am I? What am I? And And I said, show me who I am show me who I am. I don't remember what it was. Like, if I was like, show me who I am at my core, show me, a part of me that's significant, like something about that. I can't remember what it was. But so I told him, show me, before I went to bed. And then went to bed and I went in this weird as shit dream. And it was just the same thing. It's like a past life vision. And so I was this woman, and I was real skinny. I had this long black hair. I was kind of spooky looking, and the way I was dressed and everything. And I was out like in this deserty mountain kind of, like I was trying to escape or something. And there's so many of my past life things where I was taken out by soldiers. And so these soldiers came riding up on horses, and they started, I think whatever they were doing, they were after me, I guess. And so it was like chasing down the witches or whatever. So then they killed me. But it was so, like, this whole thing was so gruesome and graphic and so real. It was so creepy. And after that, then I was like, that was really confusing. But but we have dark and light inside of us. It just depends on what it is you're experiencing. But when I see some of these girls that get focused on some of this stuff, it's like, I don't think that they know what they're messing with. And so I do think like that you can, if you're really pulling in these dark entities, these dark spirits, because they're around us, especially down here. They're around us. I wouldn't call them demons and devils, but they are lower vibration. They are more, I don't know, tricksters, more enjoy turmoil and stuff like that. And when you are getting them to focus on somebody in whatever it is you're offering them, bird beaks, fucking candle wax, your own blood, I don't know. There's all these different spells and shit. Because there's ceremony through all these different religions and stuff. So, I mean, they're going to burn these fucking red heifers, which usually there's just one, but some magic miracle there's three. So, why not kill them all? So, anyways, that to me, then you could get yourself in that kind of situation if you are really pulling in all this dark energy around you. Because there's people who have messed with, there's tons of videos and stuff. I'm sure there's books and stuff of people talking about this, like back when they were younger, that they practiced witchcraft. They did all these different things and stuff. And then they started being like they were haunted. And they open portals. They open portals in their house, and more of those kind of dark spirits come in. And because they conjure them up, they open a door for them, and they say, "Come on in, help me out." And then they start getting overrun with them. And then they start having weird things happen in their house, and then weird things start happening to them. And so then they have to, I don't know, like redeem themselves, repent. They have to push that energy back. And it's kind of creepy because you start having like these things where to us it's demons and stuff, but like you look over in the corner and there's green eyes looking back at you. I've heard these from people, like real, like people I've talked to, and that so you become aware that you've got these entities around you, and then you are the one who has to pull your vibration away from them. Just like when I talk about when people are depressed and they are in this vibration, that they are surrounded by dark energy. They get dark energy all over them. You are like blanketed in dark energy when you are, but it's not like you are making deals with them. It's not like you're making ceremonies and you're making offerings, like, go do this for me and I'll do this for you. Then you're not doing that. So these are, it's like, I would say it's probably kind of the same kind of energy, but some of the ones that you are getting conjuring up and opening the door for could be more conscious beings, because a lot of this dark energy is like not conscious in the state of consciousness that we are, where it's making decisions for itself, and and has awareness of itself. Although we have tons of people around us right now who have no awareness of themselves, they just play along on the ride, and which is weird because they're not really just going with the flow of the ride. They're fighting it the whole time because they are being misled and told, go do this when you should be doing that, and go do that when you should be doing this. So they're fighting the ride and they're creating their own hostile environment for themselves because they're not really in tune with their soul and their soul's journey. But they are very submissive to taking a role in their own life, and they're victim and, depressed, and just give me a pill, doc, and make me better, and all that. So when people are super depressed, they have a ton of that dark energy on them, and they'll keep you in depression. They'll keep you down. They'll keep you in separation. They'll keep people away from you. They'll suck the fucking life out of you, and they'll sit and say in your ear, they'll push people to do themselves in. And so that's why you got to fight against it. You got to be aware, like, oh, I'm down in the dumps and now I'm feeling this way. I got to push back because these entities are on, the feast. They're feasting off of my energy. And so you have to push back on them. And that's why I'd said, and I talked about this years ago, but that's why I said, like, you got to get up. You got to open the curtains, bring the light in. You got to turn on, get off of the shit that's making you, but a lot of people, when they are feeling sad, they put on sad movies, they put on sad music, change the beat, turn on stuff that is happy, dance music, poppy, something that's, has a different kind of rhythm that makes you, and get up and dance around, get up and sing, get up and do stuff. That's going to shake it off shake their energy off of your energy. And then, you got to kind of keep doing that because as soon as you get up and do it for a few minutes and you feel good for a few minutes, then you go sit back down, go back in the dumps and focus on like why life sucks, why your life sucks, why everybody sucks. Then they're back on you right away. And then you're like, well, that didn't work. I'm just going to go sit back down and cry myself to sleep. So, but they just feed off of that. So you have to consistently do that. You have to persist. You have to push it through. So you have to continue doing that kind of thing, jumping up and dancing around, opening the curtains, keeping light in, keep happy music on all day long. Try and whenever anything dark comes into your mind or something that's like a beat down on you and make you feel bad about yourself, then counter it. Think of something good, think of something funny, think of something fun, and keep doing that. And it depends on how much dark energy you got on you, but that is where you have to fight back. That is also why they say a lot of hauntings come through periods of time when kids are teenagers, when there's a lot of angst in the house, that the spirits, opens the portals, and the spirits come in to feed off of that angsty kind of anxiety, anger, bitterness, sadness, all of this stuff that teenagers start going through. So that then people start being like, oh my God, my house is haunted. There's all sorts of shit going on in my house. It's because that the energy is pulling in that stuff. So and if you got a teenager who's real down in the dumps and stuff, spend more time with them. That is one thing that is the hardest, I think, on teenagers, is that whenever their parents are around them, they're always telling them they're doing something wrong. Go take a shower, you stink. Your face is breaking out. Go wash your face. Your hair is greasy. Like, they're just constantly, you go from a kid being just the cutest little thing to all of a sudden being this gangly, odd, greasy, stinky kid. And the parents, and then I think a lot of parents carry insecurities of their own selves through this transition of becoming, going through the transition of development. And so then they can be like, kind of ride the ass of the teenager. and be when a teenager feels like nothing I do is right, everything I do is wrong, and nobody cares about me here. And so the thing to do is, come at things in a different way, like spend more time with your kid. If they really, because that is a big problem with a lot of people. With I hear these people all the time, and they can be mean as shit, man. They're teenagers, stinky. They won't take a shower. And I had teenagers. I was a teenager. I remember having teenagers and going from like a little kid into like, oh no, you gotta go take a shower. You gotta go take a shower every day, every night, and they don't want to. They don't want to. They're not quite there yet. And so you get them to try and figure out things to get them more excited in life, not just you constantly ragging on them, and try and go spend time with them, go do things with them. And if you're embarrassed because they're all greasy and stinky, go to take them shopping to get like some, like if you have a guy, a boy, you could take him down and be like, well, we're going to go down to the place. We're going to get you some razors. We're going to get you some cologne. Why don't you pick out some hair shampoo that you think smells good? Go get them to get interested in it. And girls too, go take them to like look into products and stuff where they start feeling like, oh look, this is my stuff, and they get all excited about going in and getting cleaned up and putting their cologne. And then you're gonna have the thing too where, well, you put on a little too much, you smell like a little strong. But it is a very awkward time in kids' life. And so just try and teach them, don't belittle them. Don't just rag on them, rag on them, rag on them all the time. And because you do create this opening, this portal of entry for the negative energy to encompass your home, and it can become very all-consuming. And the less time you give your kids, the more time they're going to spend with those negative entities. And they don't know. They don't know they're spending time with negative entities. They don't know that these thoughts coming into their head is coming from them. And I mean, at this point in time, we even have kids being, well, just go, your parents, get rid of them. They're nothing but a problem anyways. You got kids doing it. So it's the spiritual side of life is real, and it needs to be more acknowledged in our world, because it's like that's where the negative energy is taking over. The light, the dark, the positive energy is not going to come in and do that kind of stuff. It is the more of the you come to it. The dark energy is sitting there just waiting to just absorb you. But the light, you have to go towards it. That's why you have to pull yourself out of the dark energy, and you have to go towards light. And so many people are surrounded by dark energy in so many different ways, because anger, sadness, bitterness, fetish, perversion, all these things is this dark energy that has this hold on the different aspects of people. And you got to pull yourself free from that. That's what this whole awakening, this whole awareness is being aware of what you are surrounded by, who you're surrounded by, and figuring out how to get yourself out of the mess you got yourself into. And so the journey out of the dark is towards the light, and that's where you have to connect back into the silver cord that is connected to your higher self, or your higher aspect of self. So you pull towards that, and you go towards the higher mind, the higher vibration self, the better things, the good things, which coming out of the dark can seem like, oh, nothing good ever going to happen, nothing good ever happens, and life sucks. And so it's hard to overcome the obstacles that are in your way to get to the point where you're like, good stuff happens, good stuff comes, magic happens. I just got to get out of this vibration, get into this vibration. I got to pull myself out of here and get over there. so that I can start having better things happen. But it is like a journey. It's like, going up the stairs to get there. And it's overcoming different things. So you'll have to overcome different insecurities. You have to overcome self-doubt, different programs that you're running. And that's the part where it would be called the healing journey, because you got to heal these parts of yourself in order to pull free from the darkness that holds you back. And then once you start pulling free, then you have new programs, new ways that you got to start looking at things like, to go from nothing good ever happens to anything can happen at any moment. The magic can happen at any moment. Anything exciting can happen at any moment. But to get from that to that isn't, like they want to tell you, like just quantum leap, just quantum leap. Well, there's a reason why you're this way. So how do you shed it? You got to shed all the things that hold you in the position that you're in. So when you're real negative and down and victim and poor me, you got to shed that side of yourself. And to me, you got to focus on the higher aspect of self, because that's like the light at the end of the tunnel. It's like seeing that possibilities and good things can happen. And so it's pulling out of the dark by holding on. It is kind of like finding the silver cord that connects you to your higher self and then using it to pull yourself out of there. And it's going to, because of the programming that is bound you into this state of mind, then it is like having to break through, like you'll feel like you're crazy. And so, because they've controlled your mind so much, they've made you believe like in nothing. And so you are a product of your environment in a sense. So you have to break those programs. You have to break free from the chains that bind you and hold you back into feeling like, you're nothing good, you're not worthy, and all that. So it's you who has to pull yourself out of it to go towards your higher self. That's why I said it's like you're pulling yourself towards your higher self. Well, your higher self in that communication is much more quieter. It's much more, more of, I don't know, it will talk. Like, we'll have talking all the time, but you've got to be able to hear through all the noise. And that's why I've said before, it's like being at a party and it's noisy as fuck, but the one you want to listen to is sitting back in the corner talking in a whisper. And so you got to get through all the noise to get to hear the whisper. So that's how the concept to quiet your mind. You have to quiet all that noise in order to hear what your higher self is telling you. And then it will communicate with you, but you have to work on that ability of being able to listen. So it's there and it will talk, but you have to learn how to listen, which all the noise is loud, and that's why they put up all these distractions. And that's why we're in this time period where there's just distractions just to keep you listening to the noise, to keep you not focused on where you should focus. Because when you start focusing on your higher self and what your higher self is telling you, then that starts pulling you out of the noise, pulling you towards your what do they call that now? Your purpose. So it starts pulling you towards your purpose. It starts giving you concepts of yourself. It starts giving you more of developing your skills, your interests, getting you to go more towards the development of self, not just drowning in this world that has been created, that you did come here on purpose to overcome all of this stuff. And you've been doing it for a long time. And so it is, that's why this period of time is so exciting, because you've been doing this for such a long period of time. And now is the time to, it's like a graduation for your soul. It's like you've accomplished a lot, but, there's going to be a lot of people who aren't there yet, because they still have a lot of things that hold them back. And like religion is a big one. The people can't break those programs. They believe, they're sure, they're just sure that that's it. They can't look at anything else. This political thing, they keep in the divide because they're sure their side's right and the other side's wrong. It's like this whole thing is just to mislead you. It's just to keep you trapped. And that's where you got to start seeing it as a game. You got to override the game. You got to level up. You got to figure out how to overcome these obstacles, because otherwise you just stay trapped in that level in the game. You just keep going and through the same level. You can't get out of it. So you have to overcome the obstacles in this level to go to the next level. Well, that's the ascension. That's this part of the people who are ascending into the new vibration of the new, like the new performance of existence. It's the new possibilities. It's the new age. It's the new experience of what's to come. And so that is the that's the part of like the graduation of you being able to break through all these different obstacles and get yourself to the point of like just focusing on your higher self and going towards, you know, your purpose, your getting it's like when you say, like when I said about the people just going along for the ride, but it's not like they're just really going along for the ride, because they are trying to force the ride to turn right when it's turning left, because they want to go right because that guy had a pretty good thing going over on the right and they don't want to go on the left. So they're trying to force the ride. So it's not really like that they are um, just it's autopilot. It's like when you're in lower chakra, you're on autopilot, and so you are just reactive. You're not. It's different, because then when you get into more of a higher state of mind, it's where you can just let go. You can just let go and go with the flow, and you can trust that good things are going to happen, not just bad things will happen. And if a bad thing happens, it's to teach you, to prepare you for the next thing that's coming. And the good things are just around the turn, they're just around the bend. And good things are in alignment with you, just like there's bad things too. Bad things are in alignment with you, but the bad things are there to teach you, to prepare you. But people get real hung up on the bad things. So when you can let go and you can see, like, okay, well, bad things happen, but I learn from them and it helps me to develop. And so then getting focused more on the good things, like I deserve to have some good things, man. I'm developing myself. I'm doing well. I'm a caring person. All the different things, whatever you tell yourself. And then you start focusing more on your purpose and your higher self, and you start going in a direction where people think like, what are you, some kind of kook? What do you think, like good things happen in this place? It's like, well, yeah, I do. Well, I do think good things happen. And but you'll have the majority of people who are still back in the dark. They'll, you know, like nothing's gonna change, nothing good's gonna happen, this is what it's gonna be, and then we're gonna die. And then so many people believe, and then when you die, that's it. It's like, it's not. You should, well, that's the whole thing, because the more that you acknowledge that you don't die and that this just keeps going, I think is more motivation of how you play the game. So the more that you pull towards your higher self and your purpose and stuff, the more kooky you can seem to people, but the more it brings you into a more positive, it brings you into the light. It's the closer you get to your higher self, the more that's in the light, the more you pull out of the dark. But the dark will hold on to you, just like, you know, those people in their near-death experiences saying, you know, when they came out of their body, all these dark entities started coming up out of the ground, grabbing them and stuff. It's because the dark is like that. They will hold on to you. And that's why they'll sit and whisper in your ear and tell you a bunch of negative shit. They'll keep you frustrated and angry. They'll keep you feeling like everybody's out to get you. And nothing good ever happens. because that's how that's the dark. That's what is in the dark, and they want to keep you in the dark. And it's so weird how it's the micro macro of like being in the dark and being in the light, and it's very representative. But but anyways, the but pulling out of the dark is having to slow your mind, having to start. Yeah, that's why I said, like, when you start noticing, like, this negative comment coming in, that's why I'm like, shut the fuck up, get the fuck out of here. And start reacting back, like, no, that's not me. I'm not thinking this. This is you. Get out of my head. Get away from me. Quit telling me negative shit. Leave me alone. But then if you do it out of anger, see, then you're just feeding them. And so you got to do it more out of a passive kind of like, yeah, just get out of there, just shut up, and don't feed into it. Because, and you can get angry at some of this stuff, because they will knock shit out of your hands. They'll drop things on your head. They'll do all sorts of shit to keep you angry and keep you pissed off. They'll freaking mess with your car. They'll do all sorts of shit, man. So, and then it depends on how much negativity have you got around you too. And like I said before, is like you have a bunch of negativity. So you are carrying all this dark energy. You are carrying all this attachment energy of the dark through your anger, your bitterness, and all that stuff. And then you go to the mall, go somewhere, the grocery store, and you're walking past somebody, and they are also carrying all this negative, bitter, hatefulness, and you pass them. These over here on their vibration could be drawn to your vibration. So you can be picking up on more when you go out into public at times. So depending on where you are, and going in, oh yeah, God, I didn't even think of that. But going and watching scary movies in a movie theater. Oh my God. Man, that is like an energy harvesting. Like, God dang. Like there would be entities, like everybody's entities that they are carrying in there. And then it's just this feeding frenzy. They're jumping around, feeding off of, oh gosh. Yeah, that's crazy. But that's the thing of like where you got to be aware when you're going in the public, that there's all this toxic energy that people carry around. And that's where a lot of these people are like, oh, these people are demons. And people are showing this side of themselves where people think that they're demons and stuff, but it's just this negative energy, and they just feed into it. It's just in there talking in their fucking minds, and they feed into it. And you got to remember, you are a receiver. You're an antenna. So you're picking up on all this stuff. And if you can hear what they're saying, then you have what is that? Telepathic abilities. So when you decipher what they're saying, then, you need to be working on your abilities, not in taking notice of like, oh, I can hear you. I don't need to hear this. Like, and, you run them off by changing the energy, really focusing on positive energy. So go do good things for people, that make people happy, and start making it where it's uncomfortable. You're not feeding them. They're getting hungry being around you because you're always happy. You're always doing good things for people. But there's a happy energy around you all the time. There's people gratitude and grateful for what you've done and stuff like that. Then that energy is but there's a transference of energy around us all the time. We're in a very dark realm with a lot of dark energy, and it wants to stay alive, and it feeds off of us. And so, but anyways, you need to increase your awareness into that and what it's doing and stuff, and breaking free to get more towards the light, because that's what this whole thing is about. So, I don't know. I don't know how some of this stuff is going to be playing out. But everything is to try and get people to see and understand and question things, man. I swear to God. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's just so weird. It's so weird how all of the people who have the platforms and stuff, it's just they're a part of the stagnation. It's like, even these ones that I hear up there, and they're all of these podcasters and stuff, and it's just so much negative, so much division, so much hatefulness. It's just like, oh my God. In the hierarchy, we're better than them and stuff. It's like, so, and then no conspiracy, no, never looking into anything deeper. Just believe what you're told, believe what you're told. Well, they said this is what happened. Well, we saw it with our own eyes. It's like, well, sure, there's a lot of people who are breaking down the stuff that you saw with your own eyes, and there's a lot of weird shit about it. It doesn't seem like it really happened at all. So, yeah, I still say, you got to question things. You don't just believe what you're told. And you really got to listen or pay attention to who you listen to, because there is so much negative that people are just, it's very divisive. This group is better than this group. And all these people are this way. And it's like, it's very lumping people together. And it's, what we want to go towards is unity. That's where we've reached our climax, our climatic moment, is when we all come together, when we stand in unity, when we all stand, like it's all holding hands, we connect in a positive energy. We create a circuit of energy that's positive rather than this negative. But that's why it's kind of like the universe is going to come in and kick off the negativity. It's going to create a separation between the positive and the negative, because then there will, but see, you've got to break through yourself and find the positive in order to get positive. It's not going to come in and do the work for you. So the people who are going into alignment with positive energy, those ones will be separated from the ones that can't break free from the division, hate, anger, fear, perversion, all that stuff. So, but that's where the universe is going to come in and be like, okay, now you're going in different directions. This one's going this way, this one's going this way. And like I said, they can, there can be a big removal before that. And that's going to put a fire under, it's going to light a fire under a lot of people if that were to go down. And that's going to get a lot more people going in a more positive direction. But still, just mark my words, that when this goes down, you're going to see, really. I mean, people think like right now that they see this negative and hateful side of people, but where you're going to see it is the turmoil, the hurdles that people can't figure out how to get over. The turmoil is going to come when the people do start trying to get focused in a direction of which direction to go, and that how difficult it is. That's where you're going to start really seeing like how much negativity holds people back, because they're going to want to go in a certain direction, and they're going to have obstacles. They're going to have all these things where it's like, how do I push through this? How do I get over this? And so it's going to, but that's why I said that's where it's going to really become a lot of, where I think a lot of volcanoes, a lot of storms, there's going to be a lot, because it will be the micro macro. So the earth will be representing what's going on in the internal of a lot of people. So that energy will be coming out in the storms and stuff like that. Volcanoes will be erupting and stuff, but that's going to be the inner turmoil in the people. So, and there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot, because the people are going to want to go in a certain direction, but it's like, but I don't know how to get there. It's like, well, I need to ride my bike to get over there, but I don't remember how to ride a bike. And so that's where I think this big, giant wave of healing, and why we have so many people who have gone in the direction of becoming healers and stuff, is because there's going to be so many people who are looking for direction. And so there has to be some people that are holding the light, saying, this is the way, go this direction, because it's going to become so like chaotic in the energy, because people are going to become so confused. Because right now they're just looking over here, looking over there, getting angry, getting just going on just as things have been, only it's just kind of turned up. But then all of a sudden, when they see and it's like, wait a minute, I want to do something different. I want to go a different direction. Then it's going to be like, but how? Like that lady, the nurse who can't get the job, and where the HR person told her, like, hey, we're not going to, nobody's going to hire you in Washington State. It's like you are, it's like you're not allowed to hire these people here. Like the corporation says no. And so she did this other video, and I guess apparently she said she can't move. But so she had her and her husband both had good jobs, so they went and bought this house. $4,000 a month house payment. Fuck. I cannot believe some of these house payments, dude. $4,000 a month. This is insanity to live like this, man. So, in your $100,000 car, this must be a cat or something. Be barking now. Here goes Stella. Just gotta run out there too. $4,000 a month. So, anyways, they bought this house, and then she decides she's gonna move her parents in and take care of her parents in their elderly years. And so they're in the house for 2 months, and she finds out her husband's having multiple affairs. So he's just out there cheating his head off. And so they split up. So he leaves her. He's got plenty of other women. Why does he need this one? So he leaves her, and so she's strapped now with this big payment. So she does get alimony. But there's something, I think the alimony or something just ran out or something, or he stopped paying because he knew she couldn't afford to get a lawyer or something. I mean, he's a scallywag anyways. So, no telling what the hell. But anyways, but she can't sell her house and move, which I don't understand that. Because, I don't know. It's like you're going to keep yourself trapped in this, this is the only way I've got to do it. She said, well, I'm going to start a GoFundMe. People told me to start a GoFundMe. That's such a temporary thing. What, are you going to just live off GoFundMe? You think people are just going to fund your life when they're barely making it on their own? It's like, you may get the heartstrings of some people and they're going to donate and you can get a payment made. But, I mean, I guess, she's going to go in and scrub her social media. You're going to have no social media, and you have to peel your stickers off. Yeah, and you're going to have to become a fake person. It's like, you want to be a real person or you want to be a fake person? You want to be true to yourself or you want to be true to the system? That's the thing. That's the moral dilemma that we're facing. And so, and you know what I choose? So so she can end up in the same kind of situation, and then she's gonna be homeless with her parents. And I mean, I'm homeless with my dogs. Luckily, I have somebody's garage, and then another garage to move to. But I don't know. Like, they come in and take your house, and then you're stuck and no job, and now you've got your parent. I don't know, but I know, like, there's also these big things, these big changes that are going to be coming in the financial thing, where they're going to pay people to stay home with their parents. So she could end up getting a job that is just her taking care of her parents, that she makes enough money off of that. And then if they drop all of this stuff behind these illegal loans and bullshit that they've got people trapped in, then, and you don't have a house payment, which right now, I don't know, they're lowering the interest rates or something like that. But I think it's going to go, when it switches over to the gold standard, it's going to go to, I believe all the NESARA GESARA stuff. Like, you just got to go read what NESARA GESARA says. I believe that stuff. And that also includes the 6,000 patents or something of the technologies and stuff that has been held back because they couldn't have things get better for us. They had to keep us, trapped in our own self-pity. So, anyways, I believe all that stuff. But there's, I've heard about Donald saying, he's going to pay people to stay home and take care of their kids. He's going to pay people to stay home and take care of their parents and stuff. So there's going to be benefits that are going to go towards people that do that. But I don't know how long it's going to take. Hopefully we really are at this, I fucking hope some shit goes the 24th or whatever, even though, I say that and it could be really, really horrible and I'm going to look like a real asshole. But But I mean, how long can this just go on? Like, how much fucking, it's like this long ceremonial parade of just, trying to get people to see. But that's the stuff, I really think that's the stuff that they're going to need to pull on when the truth comes out. So when things go and their world flips, which is so crazy because it's going to seem like their world flips upside down, but it's really flipping right side up. And because we're in the upside down, that's why nothing makes sense. It's like, what? How can you do bad and get ahead? Like, because we're in the upside down. But when it flips right side up, it's going to make so many people uncomfortable. And that's where people are going to get really lost and confused. But that's where they're going to have to be able to look back and be like, to put pieces together in order to start being able to figure out how to move forward, because it's going to be very, very confusing for a lot of people. So that's what I think. So we'll see. But hopefully, we are getting to the grand finale. Hopefully we are getting to something where it's going to really be, deliberate and really make a change. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's been so many dates that have come and gone so many times, like, oh, well, everything's going to change after this. Everything's going to change after that. It's like, well, we've heard that about a zillion times. So we'll see. We'll see what these dates bring. We'll see what happens over the next week. I mean, we will see. I'll see. I don't think you can miss it. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Oh, yeah. And I did want to say this. I forgot about this because I fucking knew it. I fucking said this. I said this fucking, I don't know, from months ago, years ago. I don't know when I said it, but I've been saying it for a fucking while. And now it's being shown. Now somebody fucking figured it out. So I've been saying these, for one thing, this one lady, she went to, her and her daughter went to some store, got some carne asada, went home, and they were cooking it up. And they're all eating it. And she said that their little kid, their little baby, is sitting there chewing on it, and they see something in her mouth. So they go and they reach in and pull it out, and it's a kid's tooth with a silver filling in it. So they freak the fuck out. They gather all this shit up. They go down, and this grandma seems to know. Probably the whole family seems to know, like, we got some soil and green situation going here. They go down to the store. They be like, well, look what's in our food. What are you feeding us? And all this stuff. So they start having a fit. The manager's like, oh, no, that's normal or something. Like, he won't even acknowledge it. So they got the police involved and stuff. Like, this has turned into a huge thing. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that's involved now with investigating and where it came from. And it's always these, so the meat packing place or whatever, the place where it's made isn't the same place that gives it. Like, there's a lot, it's like a laundry system. And it's just move it over here, move it over there, move it over here. So it's harder to track. And so there's a whole thing going with that, which to me is just more bringing it out. I mean, because there's still the lady with the McDonald's chicken McNuggets who also found teeth in her food. So, but I've been saying for a long fucking time, like, they're feeding people, like, and little kids too. Like, they gotta, once they do the stuff and they take the liquid, then they gotta do something with the rest of the stuff. Once they part it out, there's leftovers. So what do? Just what Rabbi Finkelstein said. They grind it up in your sausages. They grind it up in your meat. And they laugh about it the whole fucking time. So so I already had talked about that. But there's a new one on that. And there's a whole big investigation going. There's more people involved now. And more authority involved. And but the other one that I had said was the way that they're just the mass murder going on in the shelters. That is, it's such insanity. I can't even believe the insanity behind it. How many they are doing it. And I said, and they are definitely feeding them. I mean, there's some, because there's grant money to feed animals. Like, this is bullshit. And then even come out and where they are doing these surgeries. So it costs you need all this grant money to be able to do these surgeries on these animals, but then you're just doing them in. Like, how much mishandling funds is there? A lot. And so practicing on the animals, it's just like no ethics, man. This is so unethical what they're doing. So practicing surgeries on them. So what you need this money though for this. And so when they could just be feeding the animals, expanding the shelter, doing more. There's a lot more they could be doing. If people, you watch how things turn. There's already places that are trying to turn because the people who are ethical and do have visionaries for a new world, have ideas of how to do things differently. So the visionaries are taking it in a new direction. These people who are just the greedy, just creepy people, who will separate from it at some point. But so there's a place in North Carolina, and so it's kind of like a meat packing plant or whatever. So they are buying. I knew it. I fucking knew it. So they're buying them, and they're not just because there's a lot of places that eat that, anyways. So they're shipping them out and feeding them, which to me it almost seems really weird too. So you're gonna poison something, and then you're gonna send it out for people to eat. But they're also, putting in our food too. I'm telling you, I wouldn't eat anything that was some kind of meat, unless you don't care that you're eating dogs and people. Like, if you don't care about that, just keep on eating it, because it's going to come out. It's coming out slowly but surely. It's coming out all over the place, and it's going to come out on the big screen, and no telling when. That will be that big moment, and so there will be a lot of people who are going to see what I'm saying. They're going to be just like, oh my God, how much of this stuff have I eaten? And then, so the one woman who found the tooth thing, she was like, she already knew. She's like, I fucking knew we shouldn't have been eating it. And I still fucking ate it. And she said, I'm so fucking grossed out, I can never eat it again. And so people are gonna be so grossed out. Most people are gonna be so grossed out. I still worry about those ones that are like, well, that was pretty good. How do you think Tom with their taste? It's like, we gotta watch out for those ones, but they'll separate from us. We won't have to watch out for them for long. But I knew they were. So yeah, it was some place, I can't remember the name of it, but it's in South Carolina, and they're buying all these bodies, and then they are, and it even gets worse. Is that some of them, because it's cats too, that they are getting the cats, huge amounts of cats, while they're alive. Then they're delivering these huge trucks of cat. Like, they're not even just euthanizing them. They're just taking them all alive in these crates. And then they are putting these crates in these chambers of gas. So there's just this I can't even fucking, oh my God, people are, oh God, this world. Oh, anybody who thinks that we aren't in hell already is just like, oh, I don't know how you think things can be worse than what they are. But I guess anything can always get worse. But anyways, I want to pull out of this freaking tar factory. It's just a disgusting place. And then you got to pull yourself out. You got to pull yourself free. That's the only way out. It's like I said, it's like you're in a video game and you've got to be the one who levels up. The game's not going to level you up. You have to level up. You have to do things different. You have to look at things different. You have to open your mind. You have to think things through. You have to keep your mind open, because all of this shit. And if people think it's all conspiracy theories, oh, that's all conspiracy. Like, no, it's not. It's fucking real. Like, how long have I been saying that about the fucking dogs? I said I knew that they were. I said that it would make no sense. They've got to be making money off of that. Why would they be doing that? They're not, and they don't waste that shit. They don't waste meat. Oh, not when there's all these hungry humans. So, yeah, it's fucking, ugh, God damn. Man, I'll stick with the fucking potatoes and carrots. Potatoes and carrots and beans. And that's good enough. Yeah, well, I do eat peanut butter cookies a lot too. Oh yeah, because I was gonna say too, on the I saw a woman talking about all the different minerals and shit that you can leave off if you take moringa, which I take moringa, but it has biotin, copper, iron, a whole shit ton, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, all these different ones. But I take all those, a bunch of them that were on the list, and moringa. So, I don't know, I may be in total overkill on some of this stuff, but I'm not going to stop drinking copper out of my copper. I've got 2 vessels now. I'm not going to stop doing that in order to have the moringa. I'm going to drink the moringa too. I'm going to drink it. I'll take it all, drink it all. But that's what, I mean, we get healthy without eating, Henry and Fido. It's like, fuck that shit, man. I just don't even. And she said that the one thing that they noticed about the meat was it had tons and tons of fat, and it was taking a long time to cook. And then when they were eating it, it was real tough. It was real chewy and tough. So I don't know. I don't know what human tastes like. I mean, I imagine probably we all know what human tastes like at this point. But because I was eating those Impossible burgers, and they have been found that there's human DNA. There's human DNA in anything that they can put it in. I swear to God. So it's probably in our laundry detergent. It's so fucking creepy. This place is creepy as fuck. So, anyways, that one is ran by vamps. So what are you gonna do? Like, it's good for them. So and then those rabbis are like, oh, the way that they say the gorm or whatever they call us, the golem, I don't know. You just gotta go listen to them. So, anyways, that's what people should be listening to, with all the conspiracy stuff, rather than all the fucking nonsense that they're trying to tell people. But today will be a big fucking demonstration, a big fucking ceremony. We're gonna have a big giant ceremony today. So it's like, oh, it's all so absurd. So, anyways, my tooth has been super sensitive though. Look at how good it's looking. It's looking good, but it's sensitive. So, anyways, I've been talking a long ass time. So, anyways, that's what I got to say about it. And if you want to pull yourself out of the dark, I'm telling you, the basic thing is learning how to love yourself. That's where to start. Learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody else, and learn how to have the day you want, because it all goes together. So, anyways, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.